Can I also ask you about a couple of other stories in the news? One is the Just Stop Oil protest. Orange powder, I mean, it's paint powder, but just thrown all over the green bays at the World Snooker Championships at the Crucible in Sheffield last night. Had to stall the match. And yet another, temper tantrum by an eco-activist. Is there any way of stopping these people? We've seen them, throwing paint over oil paintings in galleries. We've seen them stopping roads. They're like, OK, this isn't a violent protest. But again, it's going about stopping other people going about their lawful business. What can we realistically do to stop this ongoing issue where our lives are being disrupted again and again and again, and people's enjoyment of a sporting event, just because some eco-activists have lost their minds?
Well, the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield is world renowned for hosting the championships every year, and it's done so for a very long time. I'm afraid the unpalatable truth is that in order to have absolute security, you would virtually have to ring those snooker tables with security guards arm in arm. And that, of course, would obstruct the view of spectators, would be a pretty unedifying thing for people watching on television to see. And so they will, of course, review their security. Will they want to stop and search everybody?
Well, I was thinking the searching. The guy's got a packet of powder. Excuse me, sir, why have you got a packet of orange, paint powder?
Yes, but of course, if that were to be concealed in an intimate place, shall we say, the security guards would not have the authority to search for it, and I suspect that's probably how it was smuggled in. But once again, we see the brainless, knuckle-dragging, pathetic efforts by these protesters to disrupt world-famous sporting events enjoyed by millions, and all they will have done is further alienate people from their cause.
My view, which Candice Holdsworth and I were talking about this a little earlier, is you just know that this kid, when he was 2, when he was 9, 10, he was a nightmare. He was having tantrums, and no one said, shut up and go to your room. I really, really think there is something you could if you met the parents of these people, you would know exactly why they are the way they are. Just finally, I do want to ask you about this emergency alarm that's going to go off at 3 o'clock on Sunday. Pretty much everyone with a smartphone, their text message, their phone will sound an alarm for a few seconds on Sunday. You're going to have to turn it, actually, interact with it to turn it off. It's going to say, look, this is a test. It's all about having a sort of an emergency alarm in the future. I don't know, flooding, fire, nuclear attack, who knows what, I don't know, another COVID pandemic, eh? Couldn't possibly imagine that happening. A lot of people quite angry and upset about it. Certainly the Mail very angry and saying big concerns about people who were driving, people who were in busy places like shopping centres, theatres, football stadiums, that suddenly a mass alarm goes off, and big concerns for public safety about that happening. Would that worry you as a police officer?
These concerns are entirely understandable, and I fully appreciate why they are being raised. But as a former police officer, you probably won't be surprised to hear that anything that can contribute in the long term to public safety would get my vote. I think eventually this will potentially save lives. For example, when there are floods thundering down rivers and about to damage villages and take lives, it might then be a very useful asset. I will be warning my beloved old mum about this. In fact, I'll probably be alongside her so that it doesn't alarm her on Sunday. And I would urge everybody to contact elderly relatives if you can be with them, and just prepare them for this noise which we're all going to hear.
Very, very good point. Thank you very much. Always so good to talk to you, Peter Bleksley, former Scotland Yard detective. Thank you for that.